Let's bring in our senior political correspondent for CTV News Channel, Mike Couteur. Mike, good to have you back. So let's sort of talk about what reaction we're seeing now to those changes that were announced yesterday. There's a group of, border mayors, and we've heard a lot from the mayors over the course of this pandemic, but they're coming back saying, okay, this is a good first step, but hold on a second here, much more needs to be done.
Yeah, not just that, Angie. I think the fact that they're saying, look, we have sort of played ball with you in terms of the federal government in shutting down the land borders and sort of dealing with all of that for the last 2 years. Now you have to help us out, specifically talking about wanting to do away with the ArriveCAN app and taking off all vaccine mandates at the land borders as well, because right now, all of the announcements that were made yesterday were about flying out of Canada or on trains and planes and that sort of a thing. That kind of travel. But what this group is talking about is the difficulty that they face in terms of how many land borders are really affected by this, and considering the fact that so many people use land borders to get over to the U.S. So one of them, obviously the mayor of Niagara, Jim Diodati, talking about how in his community alone there are 4 land borders and they're greatly affected by this. Have a listen to what he was talking about at this press conference today. There you have it again. They want to drop the vaccine requirements at the land borders and drop the use of the ArriveCAN app. And specifically on the app, this is why he believes that it should be dropped. Have a listen to Diodati right now.
We need to do everything that we can to open things up. And as well, I'd echo the comments of our member of parliament that seniors have been calling me, and the numbers have been alarming, and they're feeling discriminated against. They're feeling that, I'm willing to prove that I'm a Canadian with my passport. I'm willing to prove that I've been vaccinated, even had my booster. But I cannot prove that I can use digital technology because I have a flip phone or I don't have a phone. And the answer they get your kids or your grandkids to do it for you. Anyone that's been through this will realize that's very unreasonable. And what we're going to do, because of some inaction, we're going to kill our opportunity at a tourism season. And here in Niagara, 50% of the revenue comes from Americans.
And Diodati talking about how that tourist season is just about to ramp up when you consider that Canada Day or July 4th holiday are big in terms of those types of land crossings. He says over the course of 1 year, there are 10 million crossings at those 4 border crossings in Niagara alone. And a reminder, Angie, in terms of what the moves were made yesterday by this federal government that were affecting specifically those the air and train transportation, making sure that all of those sort of vaccine mandates have been done away with in terms of those things. And that's why these mayors are saying, well, now you got to help us out.
Yeah, and we'll continue to follow what the mayors are saying. But as you say there, Mike, there's continued pressure for the government to continue to make changes. It'll be interesting to see if more changes do come before the House rises for the summer. Senior political correspondent for CTV News Channel, Mike Couteur. Thanks a lot for this, Mike.
Thanks, Angie.